Welcome back again. This week we have this lady, Jen Rylance. How's life? How's things?
Yeah, good. It's been an interesting few months, but I feel like finally kind of, hopefully, fingers crossed, settled in.
Currently an expert in the job searching market.
Yes.
Not in a bad way, but like you'd move positions. What's that like nowadays?
There's a lot of ghosting. It's very competitive. So there was, especially when I was looking, obviously it was right at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of people either kind of through their own choice or not through their own choice looking for jobs. So it's rough. You kind of, I find that obviously, I mean, I've been working since kind of I was 18, 19, and I think that the job market and just even the job kind of the interview process is so different now. So you're looking at 2, 3, 4 kind of stages in some places. I'm very thankful that the job that I've got now, actually it was actually a fantastic kind of process. There was multiple stages, but it was quite a short kind of span of time, which is great. But you know, you're kind of doing presentations, you're obviously speaking to multiple people, as well as, you know, actually just applying for the jobs day to day, you know, kind of spending the time. This time I didn't kind of work through the notice period that I was given when I was let go, so I did have a bit more time. But you know, it is kind of almost like a full-time job, just looking for a job.
Well, yeah, and then like you said there, you've got to tailor each application to that business or to whoever's going to be reading the application. So can you, I mean, talk me through it? I mean, I haven't looked for a job for a while, but one of the things that always comes up is, you know, and probably over the last 20 years, that no one really gives feedback anymore. When I was younger and applying for jobs, say straight out of university, you'd always get at least a reply back, exactly. Whether it was on email or a letter. And now it seems that, I mean, I think it's a weak excuse. Oh, we're too busy to give feedback. Because, I mean, yeah, granted, you might have hundreds of people applying for one position, but have you found that, how the process?
Yeah, and I think like when someone's taken the time to interview, and like obviously there has been that investment from both parties, really, I think giving some sort of feedback is really handy. I think I got feedback from a couple of the ones that I kind of got to the end stages of. It was pretty much, you know, we've either found someone with a bit more experience or maybe just a bit more kind of even culture fit for that particular business was a bit more suited. It was more complicated in a way because I was trying to figure out, you know, do I go agency or do I go kind of more the supplier side? Because obviously I've had kind of
a bit of both
jobs in both. So it's very much, and when you're kind of interviewing, they're asking that, you know, you're applying for others or they're asking specific experience and trying to, you know, again, tailor everything to which one you're doing at the time it was a bit of a minefield.
And what made you go supplier route? Because you're with Zero Deposit now.
Yes. So I'm at Zero Deposit now. Great company, and I think one of the main things that drew me to them not only was the kind of the recruitment process, one of the better ones that I've experienced during my time, but the culture is fantastic. I know obviously people always talk about culture, but it genuinely is a really nice culture. And I think for me, my heart was still very much wanting to be that side of the coin. I've done agency, obviously, kind of I've done pretty much every role, specifically in lettings and property management, and I really was still very much drawn to that side of things. And I kind of got advice from my mentor, which I talked about kind of on various different other podcasts that I've done. And, you know, they're very much like, look, you know, this is what you've wanted to do for a while. You've got this opportunity. Like, why don't you grab it with both hands and go for it? So that's what I did. That's kind of where my heart was at. So,
do you think that having experience in agency and in various roles helped you on the supplier side? Would you engage in your new role, engage with agencies?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that I very much tried to use to my advantage. The fact that I've very much been the client or the partner or on the other side. So, and again, a lot of suppliers do have, you know, team members that have been in agency or kind of been in that role, but that's what I try to kind of utilize even in my day-to-day. Like, I'm trying to look at it from their perspective, you know, when not even necessarily just from a selling perspective, you know, just when you're having that relationship with them, what do they want out of it? You know, what do they need? What are the pain points? And you know, because you've been there.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the supplier side, and I've never been an agent. Obviously, we know some great ones, as you do. But was there any video parts? I know you said there's sort of multiple stages of the interview, but what do you on your CV now? Could you add a video? Do they often ask for a video introduction to see what you like and how you are?
A lot of them are done kind of remote now, so that is kind of an element, I guess. But there was a couple just in the initial submission stage. There wasn't any kind of later on, but that asked for like a video. I did a few quite early on when I was looking, kind of just sending videos, maybe kind of a little bit quirky, just to be a little bit different.
Well, stand out
because a lot of people, you know, like you said, because they need to kind of separate, you know, they need to go through the application, so having someone who does stand out a little bit. So I did send some kind of early on, just little videos about me, really, pieces. But you know, it's things like, for example, obviously when I was at Help Me Fix, we had our own podcast there, and putting things like that in, and obviously the fact that I'm keen to kind of obviously utilize visuals on those kinds of things within, you know, my role.
Do you have that in your role, the ability to sort of adopt some different visuals or suggest certain? I mean, is it gonna be a new podcast with you, or like is that going forward?
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, it was something that I just popped in kind of in one of my interviews, pitching a podcast. Obviously I'm not kind of in that particular department, but you know, I'm very much open to, even within my role. I think, you know, obviously you talk about personal brand, and I'm keen to, now that I'm hopefully settled, kind of get that back rolling again. You do like kind of team days and things like that, so I'm really keen to, you know, when we do that, you know, film it, do a little day in the life. That's kind of what I do. I don't have like a big TikTok account, but that's tend to be what I do. I was like, if I go somewhere nice, London or whatever, just do a little day in the life.
Did you sort of spring clean your socials before you started applying for jobs again, or was it, oh, actually, I know that I'm fairly vanilla online? Or
I mean, I'm pretty boring to us. I'm pretty vanilla, so there wasn't anything that would scream, you know, inappropriate. That would raise any red flags. But that is, you know, a really good point, and I think that it's one of those things that a lot of people don't necessarily think what they're, you know, putting out online. Obviously, you know, in our industry, it tends to be pretty kind of safe.
Yeah, I've just heard and read stories of people that like get so far down the application track, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you normally hear it with famous people, but they sent this tweet like 24 years ago, and it was talking about this, that, and the other. But
they always say the internet's forever, don't they? So
indeed, yeah. I mean, if I was famous or like a professional sports person or whatever, I don't think I'd touch my social media.
And a lot of people don't. Like, a lot of these, obviously, you have the people who their celebrity or their job is being an influencer, but then actually the people who are doing like the acting or the singing or, you know, the football stars or whatever, they're actually ones who actually are very much not on social media.
Can I ask you about gaps in CV? Not that you had them as such, but like, did you think about them? And even if it was like a month or something, like, is that a thing that you looked into or considered?
Yeah, so I think it's funny because, and there's a lot actually on LinkedIn, for example, which is kind of the primary, I guess, social media platform that a lot of kind of professionals use. And I think that there's a lot of, especially at the moment, about how having a gap, or, you know, even kind of leaving a job voluntarily. Obviously, in my case, I didn't. The last couple too, I didn't. It wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
But you know, having those gaps, it's not necessarily a negative thing. And yes, okay, sometimes it does happen. And I was asked in some of my, you know, obviously, you've moved about a bit, and I said, look, you know, it's just, unfortunately, it's how it happened.
Yeah,
it wasn't. I didn't,
like...
you know, and as both kind of businesses were very much, you know, we're happy to kind of, you know, offer references and all those kinds of things. So it wasn't anything to do with me personally.
What would your advice be to someone who's currently looking for a job and doesn't do much networking, or how would you lean on that a little bit?
In the market as it is now, regardless of industry, I think it's so important. I think people obviously, you know, we crack jokes and make, you know, laugh about how LinkedIn is, but I think, you know, for me personally, if, for example, I didn't know, you know, Zoe or kind of X, Y, and Z, if I didn't know these specific people, you know, whether it's a short-term, you know, gig, or whether it's a long-term job offer, or even if it's just, you know, if you are doing the consultancy thing, you know, you might get ongoing business. I'd say it's the most important thing in terms of expanding your network. For me, again, it just takes, you know, one person sharing a post or commenting on a post, or, you know, sharing it with someone they might know who's looking. And again, that was the thing that I did initially when I was first looking, is I put myself out there, because I was like, very best case scenario is I'll get a job, but you know, at the very least,
because people don't know you're looking for work.
Exactly.
Tell them.
And, you know, at the very least, a few people might comment, and obviously that's how it kind of grows. So it's absolutely vital.
You hit the nail on the head there, Jen, because sometimes I'll see someone on LinkedIn specifically post, and then someone, not necessarily of note or a famous person in the industry, but will comment, and I'll go, oh, I didn't realise they knew those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, oh, they seem quite friendly towards this person. Or maybe they work together. And then, like you said, sort of, it's that 6 circles of separation where I could comment and my network can see my comment on yours, which exposes my network to you, and vice versa. And so when you were not even looking for jobs, but building personal brands, What's your top 3 tips?
Just give it a go. So just do it. Even if it's just taking a quick video of yourself in front of a mirror, or just taking a quick kind of like 5 minutes, 30-second selfie video, just to get comfortable with the camera. Because I think that's the main hindrance and the main hurdle that most people have to get over at the beginning, is just being kind of comfortable with actually speaking on any sort of kind of like video.
Or where to look, how to stand.
Exactly. Where do you look? How do you stand? Like, do I look awkward? Have I got food in my teeth? That kind of thing. The second is, test it out on your network. Test it out with kind of friends and family. Does this look weird? Do I sound like I'm making sense? Like, again, I mentioned on the previous podcast how I did a video and my husband was like, why are you saying all the time? And it's,
you didn't realise.
I didn't realise. And as soon as someone points it out, you say it more. So that was really helpful, because it was a nice tip. So then next time I kind of just took my time a little bit more and didn't say it.
Top tip number 3.
Don't be scared. I think, because again, obviously, just do it is one, but don't be scared. Don't be worried. Don't overthink it, I think, is the key, because that's what I used to do a lot of the time, is overthink it. And I think once you get over that and just get out there and just get it done, actually you feel a lot more comfortable in
it. Because it's just you, isn't it? And like you said, some people put on an act or speak I don't know, slightly better. But when you meet someone in real life, if you're not like you are on the videos, they're going to go like, oh, don't trust you, because you
exactly.
What is your thing when you're chilling out in terms of visuals? Do you do TV, podcasts? Do you read?
Apart from doom scrolling, as everybody does, I'm a really bad doom scroller. I'm probably more of like a TV show person. I do like a movie, but again, I find if it's a movie, I tend to be scrolling and then I'm not watching.
Right,
Which again kind of takes away from the whole point of watching the movie. So I tend to watch TV shows. I watched a show called Mid-Century Modern, which is on Disney+. It was really light-hearted fun. So it's nice to just kind of have one if you're not 100% paying attention.
And just switch off. Yeah,
exactly. But things like Bridgerton, all those kinds of things. And I like anything that's like medical. So like The Resident, like 911 isn't medical, but it's like fire service, anything like that, or like a true crime.
Do you do like House?
I love House. Anything like that. Like if it's more like factual, even more like obviously more of a non-fiction kind of vibe. I like it all. But I love House.
Hey, listen, thanks for coming on again. Keep coming back.
Thanks. You.